These are 2 points. They were 0, 4 and 5, 18.8. Okay, so find the slope. So again, I'm going to do my little start from the back, subtract. Start from the back, subtract the front. That's the part that's on top, and then the next one over, I'm going to go from the bottom, subtract the front. So I'm going to say m equals 18.8 minus 4, 4.0, and 5 minus 0. So end up with 14.8 over 5. So that's 29.6. Okay, so then interpret it in the context of the problem. So you all need to write in what that means in terms of the problem. So my x's is x and y. My y is percent electric, and the x is years. Is that right? Mm-hmm. So it should be that. So 2.96% more, right? Because it's positive. Electric cars. Maybe there are more. There are 2.96 more electric cars each year, or per year. So make sure that you don't forget that interpreted in the context of the problem part. Right, so that's each one of these. Thinking each one of these will be worth 2 or 3 points on your exam. If you don't write that part, you're going to lose those. And those are pretty easy points, right? Just saying, there are blah blah blah. It's just English, basically. So great. Find linear equation for the line of best fit you chose. So I know that it's y equals mx plus b. This whole exam, that will be it. You just have to figure out what your m is and what your b is. So my b is my initial amount, so b is 4.0. Right, my initial amount, my starting amount. So then I have y equals my m, which is 2.96, x plus b, which is 4.0. And then find the percent electric cars in 2025. So 2025, if I kind of go back and look, let's see, 2025 would be 11 more years past 5, or you can do anything you want. So you can say, okay, 2025 minus 2009 is 16, so that means x is 16. All right, so then y equals, does everyone get where we got this 16 from?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You can count it on your fingers and say, okay, 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. That works too, totally works. Any way you want to do it, you can count it like that. Or you can subtract them, either. But now your x is 16, so plug in 16 for x. And what did folks get for that? 51.36?
Yeah.
Okay, great. And I'm fine, I just leave it like that. I'm not going to be too difficult about that. I do want you folks, to, when you make your your graph. I do want you to label these for what they are. That would be great. Okay.
We don't have to label each point on the graph, though,
No, you don't. Okay. Yeah, I just said make a scatter plot. All right, so let's take a look at 8. So 8, see, find f of g and g of f. So this one, and again, it's read f of g. So think like f of, it goes inside f of g of x. So then just take this, and you're going to throw it right in there. Right, so what is my f? This is equal to 3. So take this part here, right? Giant parentheses when you see the x, plus 2. So that's my f. F comes first. Then I'm going to take this part and I'm just going to pop it into there. Is that 1/2 or 1/3? I can't read it. 1/3?
1/3.
1/3 x minus 2. And then just simplify that. So I'm going to do, okay, so this times that, this times that. So everybody go ahead and do that. Let's see what you get. You did it already?
Yeah, I don't know if it's right, but
Okay, so
So here's the Untitled Chapter, you can't add or subtract them unless they have a common denominator.
oh,
So you
So-
multiply the top and bottom of this by
let's look at a first. So 3 times 1/3 x is 3/3 x. 3 times -2 is minus 6 plus 2. So 3/3 is just 1, so it's just x. And you might want to, this might help you. If you draw a line down this equal sign, right, the f of x equals this, then you won't be tempted to throw an equal sign in somewhere else weird. Minus 4 if I combine these two like terms. That's it. Find g of f of x. So this is the opposite way. So everybody set this one up and work on this one. So here you're starting with g, and you're going to put f of x inside of it. Right? You're going to take f of x, and you're going to throw it inside. So this one here, you're going to take f of x, and you're going to throw it inside of g of x. So maybe think of it that way, that helps you. The f of x is on the inside. Take f of x, put it on the inside right where x is. To simplify the unlike terms for the the fraction and the whole number, right? Remember I told you if you have a fraction and a whole number, just leave them like they are. I don't expect you to combine like terms in this one.
so you don't make it into common denominator.
I remember I said I don't, if they're not the same, I'm not going to make you do that.
I got mixed up because this was over 1. So then this
All right.
would just be it.
So what do we have? We have g.
Minus 2.
So right what g is. So g of f of x equals, what is g? G is 1/3 giant parentheses minus 2. What goes inside of there? F goes inside of there. So put what f is inside of there. 3x plus 2. Oh, so make that darker, I should make that darker. 3x plus 2. Yeah.
Where'd you get that?
Oh, sorry, is it 1/3? It's 1/3. My bad. Thank you. And then I'm going to distribute 1/3 times, and maybe draw a line straight down here so you know you can keep track that this is where my equal sign is. So it's 1/3 times 3x plus 1/3 times 2. Is that helpful if I put every step in there? So 1/3 times 3x is just, it's 3 over 3. You can think of it that way, 3/3 x plus 2/3 minus 2. and 3/3 x is just x, so it becomes x plus 2/3 minus 2, and just, they're not like terms, I'm not going to ask you to combine, sorry, these like terms, I'm not going to ask you to combine them, they will have the same denominator. Just leave it like that, that's totally okay. Good. All right, so the question is, let me ask you guys this. On your exam, I might ask you to say, are these inverses of one another or not? So that's the question at hand. Are these inverses? So everyone, write down your answer. Are these inverses or not? Are f of x and g of x inverses? Okay. That's the worst. No worries.
The right to text never works for me either.
Well, and I think it does if I do it in, well, we'll just delete it all. No worries. I'll just type it out. R f of x and g of x inverses. And what do folks think? What do you folks think? I'm getting better. No, they are not. Oh, you're saying no, I'm not getting better. Well,
Yeah, which one are you?
I thought you were saying no, she's like, you're like, wow.
all right. Are they inverses? No.
No.
Why? Because if they were inverses, I should get back what I started with. Right? If I do one thing and do the other one, they should undo each other. And I should get x back. Because you start with x, right? If I convert to pesos, and then convert pesos back to dollars, I should get x. I should get what I started with. And I don't. I get x plus something else. Everybody on board with me?
No, not really. So you get, the answers are different, so it's not.
No, the answers are not x.
What is that?
If the answers are both x plus 2, if they're both x plus 2, they would not be inverses. Because if I have 20 bucks, I convert to pesos, and then I undo that, what should I get back? Start with 20 bucks, convert to pesos, convert back to dollars, what should I have? 20 bucks. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, I understand that, I still
Right.
don't understand this.
So this is the same thing, they're inverses, they should undo each other. So whatever I start with, 20, we go to change to pesos, change back to dollars, I should get 20. If I have a million, and I convert to pesos and back to dollars, I should have a million. If I have 5, I convert to pesos, back to dollars, I should have 5. Everybody with me? If I have x, convert to pesos, convert back, I should have x. I shouldn't have x plus 2/3 minus 2. This is important for you to understand that. You should get back, if they undo each other, you should get back what you started with. You started with x. X is your input. You should get x back. I don't get x back. I get x plus and minus some stuff.
So if you ended up with x minus 4, then it would be all
Then it would not be correct. They would not be inverses. Because I would start with $10 and I would end up with $6. That's not what I started with,
That's a scam.
right? It's a scam. So in other words, okay, Eric,
Hmm?
what's an inverse of plus 4?
minus 4.
Minus 4. So if I start with x, I add 4, and then I put into the next one, and I subtract 4, I should get x back. X, right?
I just don't know what I'm comparing in the question. Like, I just.
F of x, f of g of x should be x. G of f of x should be x, f of g of x should be x. They should both be x.
So neither one of them are right. Yeah.
Right, so they're both of them are saying, this one's saying it's not an inverse. This one's also saying they're not an inverse. They're both saying they're not inverses.
So if the total answer equals x on both of them, then it's an inverse.
Then it's
That's
an
it.
inverse,
That's it.
exactly.
Yeah, if you break it all the way down and you
Yep.
end up
You
with
do all
x
that
on
work,
both.
it's
You do all that work.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
Say it again?
You do all the work and it's just x.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
okay, and it has to
Then-
be on both.
on both of them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and they both end up being x. Sometimes there's something weird where if you have a square or a square root, it might do something strange where it allows that. So yeah, so if you get x, then that means that if they're both x,
Oh,
that means
there you go.
they're inverses of each other.
Okay, I got it.
Good? Yeah. Right. So I would say f of g of x is not, would you guys prefer if I did it like this, not equal to x? Is that the clearest way for you guys, for me to say that? And g of f of x. Is that, does this make sense for folks if I write it like that? Right, in other words, f of g of x, the first thing I found, is not equal to x. And g of f of x, the second thing I found, is not equal to x. This is not equal to x. It's equal to x plus some stuff.
I just put they don't both equal x.
There you go. That works fine too. All right, let's take a look at this next one here. Find the inverse of x. So first, before doing anything else, everybody write in here what the proper notation is for f inverse. Everyone write it in. Write it in. If you know or you don't, take 5 seconds, write it in. If you don't know what it is, then you should know it. Make a note of it on your card somewhere on your note card, because you need to know this. It's worth like 1 or 2 points on your exam. It's f with a -1 as the exponent, f inverse of x.
Oh, it's over x too? Or not?
Well, if you didn't have that, so that's okay.
Oh,
If you have this, that's all right too. I'm okay with that.
oh.
Okay, now, we need to find the inverse. How do we find the inverse? What do we know about inverses?
They undo each other's socks. and
They
shoes, right?
undo, yeah, exactly. They undo each other. There's that whole shoes and socks thing. And what else do we know about the x and the y? They undo each other, so then what?
They swap.
Yeah, the x and y swap places in the inverse. Right, so if $10 is 200 pesos, then 200 pesos is $10. Good?
You're not
X is the
switching any signs or anything in this, you're just switching the
You're
letters.
switching them, you're swapping them, you're swapping them.
Swapping them.
You swap instead of switch, because swap, you really understand they swap places. Switch, a lot of times people start thinking of the signs. It's not the signs. It has nothing to do with the signs. It has to do with swapping places. The signs has to do with reflection.
Yeah, there was something in the homework where I had to flip the signs.
That's reflection.
Yeah, okay.
Signs is reflection. Swapping is inverse.
Oh,
Are you all right with that part? So maybe write that down in a note somewhere as well, right? Signs, that's about the reflection. Swapping is about the inverse, when the x and y swap. So, what do you, everybody write down what you folks think is the first step for this?
Y equals.
Yep, y equals, just write it with y equals instead of f of x. That's the first step. Okay, then we're going to draw a line. That's a different function. Now we're going to start with the inverse. So everybody write in the second step of finding the inverse.
do you need to write this step to get it correct?
No,
Or no? We
no,
just
the
don't.
first one you can skip if
Okay.
you want. All right, remember x and y swap in the inverse, so everybody should write, everyone's written down the second step?
Hmm.
David, did you write down the second step yet? Okay, so the second step is what? X equals 1/3 y plus 2. Right, you just swap them. That's the second step. And then, what do? Solve for y. Everybody solve for y.
Oh, and then you have to solve it.
Then you have, that's not the end, you gotta solve it.
Okay, because it just said find the inverse. Okay, solve it.
Right. The inverse function means f inverse equals. What would it equal? So everybody do those steps. So again, I recommend drawing a line straight down so you have room and you keep your sides straight, or,
You wouldn't do it to the,
Yeah,
you
separate.
just do it to the x. 'cause
and then
the x minus 2.
it might be easier, if you guys do subtraction, or folks do subtraction or addition, to just do it here on the side, like -2, -2. Is that easier for people to do it like that? So then I say, okay, on this side I have x minus 2. Over here I have 1/3 y.
No, you wouldn't apply it to the.
And then I need to multiply by the reciprocal to get rid of the 1/3 y. Anytime you have a fraction, multiply by the reciprocal. So this becomes 3, or 3 over 1. So you get it that way.
Well, what would you do to here? You gotta do it to everything on the other side.
No, because it's not in parentheses. If it was x minus 2
So
in
then
parentheses,
this-
then you would do that.
Cancels out, that's just
But it
y.
only applies for the x.
And 3 over 1 is just 3. So it becomes 3x. 3 times -2 is -6. So there's my answer, it goes right in here.
Y equals 3x minus 2.
3x minus 6. Done.
What?
3x minus 6.
Oh, we have to, I mean, parentheses.
Right, so don't forget what you're multiplying, what goes here is in parentheses every time.
Minus 6. You do it in.
So you have to do it, I have to multiply everything by 3, not just, I have to multiply the whole side by 3. Okay, we're all
So how do you know it's in parentheses?
x plus 2 is in parentheses.
Yeah. How did you,
I'll write it better. Is that better?
how do we figure that though, that it's in?
It's the whole side. It's always the whole side.
You were right, I was,
It's always the whole side.
Yeah, that's what I thought, okay.
yeah, no, that was my bad.
Always this whole side goes in parentheses.
Yeah. It's
Yeah, no worries. I make mistakes, we all make mistakes, it's, we're all learning together here. All right, good? Is there, all right, this part? Do you folks want another one to practice? Yes, no?
For
No?
this one?
Yes? Another inverse? I can give you another one. How about,
Figure out what I did last time. I forgot what I did.
how
I
about
forget what I did.
f of x is equal
Oh,
to,
that's too old. So this is 3x minus 6.
1/2 x minus, I should give you one with a number in it, huh? Minus 3. How about that? Find the inverse of that one.
Which one? The purple?
Yep.
Or which one?
The purple.
The purple.
Yep. Go ahead and take a look at these two. Have you guys had a chance to do both of them?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do the first one, then I'll give you guys a second to work on the other one. So this one here, again, I'm going to write it as y equals 1/2 x minus 3. And then now I'm going to change it. It's different because this is the inverse. The inverse, the x and y swap places. So x equals 1/2 y minus 3. Now I'm going to draw my little, I call it the line straight down, keep things separate. And I'm going to, 9 for success, exactly. And I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So then over here I'll have x plus 3 equals 1/2 y. Then now I need to get rid of the 1/2 y. So what do? I need to multiply both sides by 2. Remember, everything, choosing multiplying everything. So you're going to put parentheses around the whole side, everything on that side. So then it becomes 2 times x, 2 times 3 equals y. There it is. So my f inverse is equal to 2x plus 6. Final answer. Do people want just a minute to do the second one? Everyone's done the second one? Okay. We'll proceed then. Okay, so here the inverse again is when the x and y swap. So we end up with x equals 3y plus 9. Now we need to solve for y. And maybe I'm gonna erase this, I'm gonna give myself a little bit of space because I want to do that, I want to add in that minus 9. So I'm gonna do minus 9, right? So then I'll have it on this side, I'll have x. So I'm gonna do my line for success. Line for success, there we go. X minus 9 equals 3y. And my next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Or multiply by 1/3. We'll try this way first. So then I end up with, and then if I'm going to do this, I need to split them off separately. So that becomes x over 3 minus 9 over 3 is 3 equals y. Or you could do it, you guys like to you folks like to multiply by 1/3 better, correct? Yeah. We'll do that. I feel like that is cleaner. All right, so I need to multiply by 1/3. So we will do 1/3 times the whole piece. 1/3 times the whole piece. So what goes inside here? X minus 9, 3y, and we get 1/3 x. Yeah, that is easier. Minus 9/3, which is 3, equals y. So my F inverse is equal to 1/3 x minus 3. Done. Okay, so what have we not gone over yet? We have not gone over number 4. Take a look at number 4. Right, see this is not a long exam. I mean, going things have been possibly difficult longer, so I've gone through most of it. So let's see what we got here. My domain. So my domain, if you need to have notes on this for your exam, maybe you should write down in your notes that my domain is how far, the farthest left, right? Farthest left. Comma, the farthest right. So here it would be, what's my farthest left? As I trace along this, what's the farthest left I ever go? So just keep tracing along it. And what's the furthest left my pen ever goes? Right here, right? That's the farthest left I ever go, right here. So what is that? -4. All right, and as I keep tracing, what's the farthest right I ever go? 3. That's my domain. The range is the...
Including though, right?
Including. Oh, right. Great point. So this should be square brackets. Perfect. Thank you so much for catching that before I got off on the wrong track. So this is the farthest, or the lowest. So my range is the lowest I go, comma, the highest. Yeah. So as I trace along here, what's the lowest I go? -2. Is everyone on board with that part? So as I trace along here, the lowest my pen ever goes is -2. What's the highest it goes? What's the highest I ever go? Yep, right here is the highest, so this is the highest point, so that's 3. So the lowest is -2, the highest is 3. I can equal them, so those will be square brackets. Next, we want to translate this across the y-axis. So which one's the y-axis? It's this one here. It's not very small, thick. And the dotted options. It's this one here. I'm going to translate across that.
So reflect this.
Sorry, reflect. I'm so sorry. I'm going to reflect across that. So let's see here. That means at this point goes where? I'm 4 to the left. I'm going to go 4 to the right. And then where does it connect to? It goes down to this. So I would kind of trace along here and say, okay, here's my next spot. This spot here is 3 to the right. I want to go 3 to the left. And then draw a line immediately. Connect them, or else it's big trouble. Right, connect as you go. What's the next spot? From here I go down to here. So this spot is 0 to the left, so it should be 0 to the right. Connect them. Oh, I should use a different color pen. Just realized that. How about if I did like a bright green, blue, is that an okay color? Is that, can you folks see that, okay? Okay. So then my next one is that from here, where do I go in the original one? I go down this way, so that's going to be 2 to the right. So I'm going to mark in where this point should be if you reflect it across the y-axis. I want to draw in where it goes, where this point here goes. Draw it in, where it is on the axis. Help me
Can't
make
see
sure
it.
people are doing it.
Can't see it.
Oh, no. Where does this point reflect to? This is where you need your other color pen. Where's this point reflect to? So we draw this one to that one.
So you're reflecting.
I gotta.
Yeah.
Please go 3 -4. This down. I don't know, is that going down or this way? I don't.
And then to there.
So this is already -4, 3.
Okay, so then where does this point reflect
3
to?
-4. No? Yeah,
Does it reflect to?
If I do that, is it going across the y-axis or the?
Draw a line from there to,
I guess.
no, from here to your blue. You're doing the blue, right? To the blue. Okay, and then where's the next, where does this go next? Where does the original graph go next?
Reflection in the water.
No, go trace along here. Here, 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 then what? Yep, so where does that one reflect to? Where does this point reflect to? This point reflects to there.
The pointer is
Where's
going to be
reflect
the
to?
opposite sign.
Reflect
So
to,
-4 would be
reflection.
+4, 3. So you're going to go
This
1,
point
2,
reflects, you reflect across the y-axis, where do you go?
up 3.
So that's something else when we're switching it.
Here's the y-axis, you
Yeah.
reflect it across the
So this
y-axis,
would
where would it
be-
reflect to? This point.
So it would be 4, 3.
Either here or here.
4 -.
So this,
No,
no, this point
4,
goes here?
3. You only change
This
the
point,
end.
this is across the x-axis, across the y-axis, where does it go?
4.
These things that we did, that was like, everything is different. I don't know.
This point goes where? Where's the y-axis? Show me the y-axis.
4, 3. Like
Mhm.
that's the,
So
how
if I
about
reflect that point
41?
across
What
it,
would
where
that
does it end up?
-3, yeah.
be? And that one,
This
-3.
point, where does it end up?
Oh, it's just connect. You don't- that's 10.
step right there.
You're saying if this is the mirror, if it's here, it goes there?
Make sure you
It goes
label
right
it.
to the mirror? No, right there, yeah.
So negative
And draw a line.
1.
From here.
Yeah,
Okay, so you go ahead and.
yes, draw a line. There you go. And
Right,
then,
and
where's it go
break
from
that
here?
Yep, that looks good.
Okay, so here to here, and then what's the next spot? The next one there.
How are you doing?
And draw a line.
Follow.
And where's this one go?
You look like you're doing it
Here,
right.
And then where's it go from there?
Oh. Yeah, so basically what you're gonna do is if the original point is, it helps if you label the points, like this is -4, 3.
And then
So
where's
go ahead and label it in your pencil. Label the original points.
I think she was.
Yeah, so the first thing we'll do with your question is label the original points. So, this one, this one, this one, this one, that one. So what are the coordinates? Because this one will be -4, 3.
In there.
Right here?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, you gotta draw
No,
your
no,
line.
I mean
you
like
gotta
this
draw your line.
point itself.
Here to there,
So the points that are already here, this one, this one, this one,
and then there's
all of the original shapes.
Yep.
You're gonna write down what their points are. How do I get to those points? Well, I go to,
Here?
well, so again, you're thinking too far ahead, we're just gonna, what is this right here? -4, 3, so write that in.
I mean, you came from there.
And then you're doing the same thing for the rest of them.
Negative 3.
So in this, to reflect across the y-axis, you're gonna change the sign of the x.
Yeah, I've been recording this whole time, so sorry.